All right, welcome back to the Batting 500 podcast. We got Trenton and Jeremy here. We're going to get into the World Baseball Classic. So this is an event that comes around every 4 years. It actually happened 3 years ago. We had a little bit of a scheduling ordeal go on, but it's a 4-year event. It's kind of like the Olympics for baseball. Every 4 years, they do the World Baseball Classic. 20 teams across the world, or 20 countries across the world, put a team together and they do pool play. This year, the pool play is going to be in Tokyo, San Juan, Houston, and Miami. And then following that, everyone that won and moved on will go to the quarterfinals in Houston. And then the semifinals and the final will be in Miami. So this is a worldwide event, but really the tournament itself is actually happening in America. It's happening in Houston and Miami. The pool play happens all across the world, which is it's cool because you get to see all these different cultures. They bring in, if you're watching games, you get to see a lot of cool, Japanese culture over in Tokyo or San Juan. You see the Houston, it's just a really cool event. It's been 3 years since we've had one, but this year I'm excited for this year. I think we got some really good teams. That's kind of what we're going to get into today. Is we're going to discuss some of our kind of favorite teams going into it, who has the best chance of winning. Some of these roster structures are there. These teams are put together, in a way to make the team a team. They don't just pick the best players from each country. They build an actual team. It's just like watching the Olympic hockey. It's not necessarily the best players from that country. It's the best team that you can put together to win the medal at the end of the event. So, what do you guys think of the World Baseball Classic? Is this something you guys watch every year when it happens? Well, every 4 years, but every time it comes around, to me, it's a big event. I love watching it.
Oh, absolutely. I love watching it myself. It's fun because then it allows you to see what different breeds are actually happening around the world. Is Japan really good at pitching? Are they really good at hitting? You can actually see a lot of these guys, mostly down south teams like Venezuela, Cuba. That those are the speedsters. Those guys are really going to move quick. They're going to have really good infielding hitting. So you're kind of watching for that, Japan has really been known on the scene as pitching here recently, so it's really fun to see. Now you can actually see them start hitting the balls more and getting more in play like they have been for the MLB. I think it's really cool because it allows you to open your eyes to every other country and what's going on. Sometimes you don't want to open your eyes when you're watching Great Britain's uniforms, but
oh my gosh, yeah. I will say, it's also good for the players. Some of the players, don't have major league contracts, and I feel bad because I can't remember the name. But specifically, there was a pitcher who struck out 3 of the best right in a row. I want to say it was Juan Soto, a couple other guys. Maybe it was Machado and somebody else. Anyways, he ended up getting signed to a major league contract right after that. So scouts have eyes on these guys and get to see a little more. I think the biggest issue with the Baseball Classic is, when is the right time to do it? Is it smart to have a tournament like this right before the MLB season, where players have missed the whole season? Edwin Diaz is a good example of that. Obviously, I don't blame the World Baseball Classic. They can get hurt in spring training or winter ball or anything on the way there. It's more just the timing. I did hear a really, really neat proposal. What if they did the World Baseball Classic tournament, but they had the finals in place of the All-Star game? I think that would be...
Well, that's what I was just going to say. Yeah. You look at what hockey just did. They actually extended their All-Star break to 2 weeks for the Olympics here. So you have an Olympic breakdown of 2 weeks. Why don't we do the same thing for the World Baseball Classic? Because then everyone has already gotten out of the spring training form, and then you're going to get people who are in the middle of mid-season form, and they're going to come in instead of having to do an all-star game. You actually allow a lot more people to play, get a really good tournament, get more pool, and then, like you said, you're going to have these scouts that you've been already watching this guy, you've been watching him in minor leagues, you've been watching him come up, and even people that you haven't had, he just struck out three of the top batters in the world. All right, let's give him a look. We want to sign this guy. It really opens up teams, especially middle of the season, hey, we want this guy on our roster now.
Well, and another thing, because I see it from both sides. I agree. I agree with you. Maybe it is better to do it at a different time of year. But the only problem I see is for example, this year in the Olympics, Sidney Crosby got hurt, and now, the Penguins are going to deal with that. Like, he's on contract with the Penguins. So I feel like you're never going to please everyone with these deals. If you do it in the middle of the season and someone gets hurt and say you're on a playoff run, you're like, this team is going to make the playoffs. All of a sudden you lose a star player, you're going to have people upset about that. Same as if doing it before the season starts. If someone gets hurt and they miss the whole year, now you're going to have people upset about that. Like, it's really hard to like pick the right time to do something like this, because you don't want to do it after the World Series either, because then everyone's kind of out of the baseball mood now onto the next sport, and then it's going to get kind of overlooked. So it's like, I
think that All-Star break would be perfect timing. And like you said, for injury, I mean, you can't really base it off of living in fear of the injury, because it's going to happen. Like,
injuries are part of the game.
Sidney Crosby injury could have happened a week after the All-Star break.
Exactly.
I mean, it's no, like, yeah, he was playing in an Olympic game, so he's giving it a little bit more. But I feel like the World Baseball Classic is going to be the exact same way. You're going to have people who are just playing ball to play ball, and they're going to give it their heart and soul every pitch that they were going to play anyway, every at-bat, every infield. So it's one of those, you can't live in fear of, all right, well, we're going to lose a guy because he's going to get injured for our team. But we do want to have a chance to actually see this talent arise. I mean, you just saw it with the Olympics, where some of these players, they actually made a serious name from them.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that Slovakian goalie. I mean, he was on fire. It almost knocked out Canada. Like, you look at this stuff, and it's, if you get the chance to look at these kind of talents in the middle of the season, maybe you already have a guy down. That's even more to the point. You already have a guy down, and you're trying to fill a spot, and then you see somebody that you would normally never see in the middle of the season and go, hey, he could solve our problem right now.
Right. And it, like I said, there's really no way to please everybody in these kind of things. But I think, to me, like, I like having it at this time of year, just because it only happens every 4 years. And granted, the past couple have been kind of weird because of other things going on, but it's set up like the Olympics. It's every 4 years. I like the fact that it's kind of during spring training, because it gets you really hyped for that season. Like, you get done watching your country play, you see these guys come back to their teams, and all of a sudden it's kind of like, all right, I'm ready for baseball. We just watched some intense baseball. The season's right around the corner now. It's like, all right, here we go. Like, so I feel like it gives it that extra kind of hype for the season coming in. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing it at the All-Star break. I think it's a good idea. Maybe give it a try. Let's see how it works. I'm also not opposed to doing it more often. Maybe do it every 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I could definitely see that.
We have the Olympics every 2 years. It's just, summer to winter,
Yeah. I think the only issue with the beginning of the season is a lot of times these guys are coming back, especially pitchers. They have to take that off season to rest their body.
Right.
A lot of times they're just not up to full form, and we're putting a lot. They're throwing really hard. They're competing. They're competitors. There's nothing wrong with that. But your adrenaline gets up. You're a professional athlete, and you lose sight of the fact that maybe you shouldn't be throwing 101 in
right.
March, you know what I mean? So a lot of these guys aren't ramped up yet, but like I said, these injuries can be freak injuries. Like I said, Edwin Diaz celebrated after a pitch and hurt himself. So, I mean, these guys can do that slipping in the shower at home or anything else. You never know what's going to happen. I just think that they're just coming off the off season, and they haven't had a chance to fully ramp up.
Right.
And so I do think that does set, the groundwork for injuries. If we could do it over the All-Star break, I think that would be perfect time. And like you said, you're getting scouts on eyes of these people, that maybe could help you win a World Series.
Right.
So there's a lot of excitement around it. I love the World Baseball Classic, and I can't wait for this one.
It is honestly one of my favorite sporting events. I like I said, I wish it happened every 2 years, because I love watching the World Baseball Classic. I like seeing the uniforms, except for Great Britain's. I love seeing the uniforms. I love seeing the USA crowd. We just got done watching the Olympics. To come see this again, like to see the USA on their chest, like, yes.
I mean, people who want to watch their teams are going to watch baseball. They're going to get involved in the sport because of nationalism.
Right.
They're going to watch hockey. That's what everyone just did. They don't normally watch the NHL season, but they watch United States play Canada. That's what we watch. That's what we're going to enjoy watching.
And we won.
Now, all of a sudden, you're going to watch the United States, Japan, United States. Cuba, United States, Venezuela. Like, you are looking at these teams and you're going, okay, how do we match with the rest of the world? And you're going to get a lot more people in the United States to actually watch. And then on top of it, you're going to get a lot more world viewership because you're going to have people, well, what does our team look like? You know, what does a team Italy look like in the NHL? Like, all right, well, we found out it wasn't the best, but they matched up.
And another
I
thing,
got excited about the curling.
Yeah,
the curling was awesome. I watch it every time.
Sweden was killing it with curling.
Yeah.
Another thing I'm actually kind of curious about thinking about this. I got to look it up after we're done, but I am kind of curious. Does the World Baseball Classic actually boost the ratings for the MLB season the year that it happens? Because it makes me think, like, you look at like a team like let's use Italy for example. They're probably not an entire MLB roster. They might have, let's say 3 or 4 guys from the MLB on that team. But because of this event, does it draw some of those Italian people in to watch more of the MLB that year? Like, hey, our 3 or 4 guys are, let's say one's on the Blue Jays or something. Maybe they are tuning into more games that year because of that. It just kind of draws them in, you know.
Maybe it does. I like you said, we have to check the numbers. I definitely feel like it would do a disservice to baseball because you would lose the viewership right after this is done. Whereas if you could hype it, like we were saying earlier, if you do the All-Star break and you start hyping it at the beginning of the season, you're going to have people who are going to watch these players. Like, I would guarantee you, people are watching probably more viewership now in spring training because they know this is about to happen in a week. Versus, all right, you get everybody who's trained up for spring, you've got them into actual mid-season form, and then on top of it, like we were talking, I feel like it kind of goes better in the All-Star break because then you're going to have pitchers who are actually going to be in full form. You're going to have people who have paid attention to what's going to happen with their teams. I've been watching this guy, I've been watching that guy. I know where they're going to be playing for us. And then on top of it, it's going to make it so that you're having more teams that are going to be willing to allow these players to play in these positions. Because they now are like, all right, we want to get you in a high pressure situation and see how you perform in it. And then we can get the playoff jitters out of the way without costing our roster a playoff spot, without costing us, okay, well, we know you're not going to handle the first game very well. Let's let you figure this thing out. Instead of experimenting on their own dime with their own playoff spot, allow the All-Star game to be that bridge for them.
Well, and thinking about it even more now, I almost wonder if it would be better to do it during the All-Star break because, hear me out on this and give me your guys' thoughts. Following the All-Star break, you kind of know where your team is sitting at this point. Mm-hmm. You're towards the second half of the season now. Teams that are going to make the playoffs are kind of going on these runs now, right? Going back to what I was just saying, I'm curious if the ratings are better in the seasons that the Classic happens. I wonder if you would actually draw more viewership in that way, because if a team is watching it, or people are watching a team like, say, Italy, and Italian people are tuning in, they see those 3 or 4, MLB guys, and then they look them up and they're like, oh, let's say he's on the Yankees, and the Yankees are sitting in first place. Hey, I'm going to be watching these games.
Like, so you've been following them, and we're have a playoff spot on the line.
Right.
So then you're clicked in for the next half of the season because you understand, all right, well, this person are killing it for the Yankees, for whoever they're playing for. I want to watch the rest of the season and see if they get a huge playoff run. So it would build your viewership throughout the entire season instead of, we're just going to World Baseball Classic before the season, spring training finishes, and then we're going to go into the regular season. And then nobody really has that taste of, well, is our team any good?
Exactly. Yep.
And baseball fans, I mean, we all know, like, you're going to have that huge spike at the beginning of the season and then it dulls down. It's usually the way the ratings always work. Yes. So how do you keep people more in tune? Well, you keep them more in tune by, instead of spiking it so high with the World Baseball Classic, and then you don't know what's happening, you're going to, all right, well, I want to pay attention. Maybe I'm tuning in once every week to figure out, okay, what is our schedule? What is our rankings? Like, who's doing what in the standings? And then, okay, baseball classics right around the corner, and then you really get ramped up into it for about a month beforehand, and then the month afterwards, you're going to be, all right, if our team's really in the playoff hunt, it determines how you're paying attention to the rest of the season.
Right, you're tuning into a lot more games now. I mean, like you said, baseball is a long season, and I don't fault people at all. I don't look at anyone any different for not watching all season. I do personally, because I'm a diehard fan, but I get it, man. It's such a long season. A lot of these games just feel like they don't really mean anything. They all do at the end.
Yep.
But there is a point in the season, between, let's say, the third week of the season starting up until, a week before the All-Star break, where it's like, it's just another Tuesday game, whatever,
Yeah.
But so I get it. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just kind of food for thought there, I guess. Is it the right time to do it or not? Heck, we could probably do a whole nother episode about just that. Maybe we should. Maybe we should.
On a side note, if we did do it during the All-Star break, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm just not a huge fan of the All-Star game, and I think that goes across sports, the flag football, and in the football, the Pro Bowl, and all these other things. But one thing that I do find really interesting is kind of a counter to the home run derby. Have you guys seen the bunting championship they do in Japan, where they have the target? I think it would be so exciting to add that as well. So you have the home run derby, you have the bunt challenge, and I think it's a skill that is kind of lost.
I was just going to say, like, what we should do for the regular All-Star break, if you're not going to have this, and even for the World Baseball Classic, you could do it where we're going to have skills competition. So who's the best in the world at bunting, home runs, digging out
Would they
plays.
do that in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, like, you do all the skills that you have to watch on the field, and like saving pass balls, just different things for each position, so that way you're specialized in it. All right, we're gonna have who we think are the 10 best in the world, and they're gonna go at it, and we're gonna throw some wonky pitches at a catcher. We're gonna, all right, you got to bunt the ball. You in that position, can you dig out the bunt as a pitcher? Like,
exactly.
How does your skills work? And then it actually builds the game as well, because then scouts are gonna watch that more than going to sleep watching. All right, well, we know this guy's going to hit nukes out of the park. The All-Star game's the All-Star game. Okay, well, now you have the game that's attached to it, which would be the WBC. And you would also have, all right, well, now we get to see a whole skills competition. Yeah. And I mean, like, even the NHL's gone over to that, where speed skating, best pucks, like best slap shot, that kind of stuff, where it allows you to see a versatility of different players and what they bring to each team that they're on, and how great they truly are.
I'm just saying, if we're doing a blocking competition, Emmanuel Clase has to be the pitcher for that competition. He's so good at spiking balls. If we could just get him as a designated thrower for that, I think that would be amazing.
Are you willing to put some money on it or what? No, one more quick. Yeah, no kidding. No, but I agree, because like, even like, I kind of like the NBA's structure. I hate the game, the All-Star game in the NBA. This year was different. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but I like the idea of like the slam dunk contest, the skills challenge, the 3-point show. Like, it's fun to watch, because you get to see these guys do something that you don't get to see every play, but you get to see, like, who is the best at it. What tandem can turn the quickest double play, or just come up with some ideas, and it'd be really cool.
On home plate from right field.
Yeah, right. Like, it would be really cool to just kind of see.
It shows kids too that this is what they practice. So you might not see it every day, but the little things do matter, and we do practice it daily. So
exactly,
as you're coaching your sons, your daughters, you can go, this is what the pros are doing. Like, you might not see it every day, but this is why they're the best at it, because they practice this every single day.
This is where they put the work in. Yeah.
I think if people had more skills at bunting, they wouldn't have had to ban the shift.
Right.
If
exactly.
You think about it, there would have been no need to, because if you're shifting on me and I can lay a bunt down third base and I can lay a proper bunt, well, I'm going to get you every time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and some of these guys are fast enough. They might lay a bunt down the third base line and get a double out of it, because you're shifted so far over. Heck, that ball might end up out in the outfield.
Yep.
And no one can even get over there. So it's like, I agree with you. It is a lost art. It is part of baseball. And every time, the few times you see a bunt get laid, I'm just like, oh yes, here we go. Like, like, it's so exciting to see, because you just don't see it anymore. Yeah. All right, let's get back to the World Baseball Classic. So just a quick refresher. Last year, Japan ended up beating the U.S. 3-2. We saw some really cool things in this. At the time, if I remember right, at the time, was Shohei and Mike Trout, were they still teammates, or had he just left to go to the Dodgers?
They were still teammates.
I thought so. They were still teammates, because
was Trout fighting injury though at that time?
Well, he was playing in the. I remember
he was the captain.
He was the captain, but I believe he was still fighting some injuries.
Did you guys ever see the speech that Shohei Ohtani gave to Team Japan about how these guys are? I'm going to butcher it, but these guys are our heroes. These are the guys that we look up to. And that's all the past. Like, we're gonna beat them. I mean, it was just such an amazing speech, and just fantastic.
And I remember some of the highlights were like, when Shohei struck Mike Trout out, it was huge. Like the home run to win the championship by Japan. Like just it was just an awesome tournament. And I just love this tournament, dude. I do. It's one of my favorite sporting events. All right, let's get back to it.
All these guys that that signed this year, they were all in the WBC last year, and they're going to be in the WBC this year.
Right. So the World Baseball Classic this year will happen from March 5th to March 17th. And like I already said, it's a 20-team pool. Tokyo, San Juan, Houston, and Miami. And then the quarterfinals will be in Houston. And then the semifinals and the finals will be in Miami. So let's get into some of these rosters. What do you guys think about starting with Venezuela? Venezuela's got a pretty deep team. Baseball is a huge thing in like the South American and Central American, Caribbean kind of area. Like it's a huge sport in those areas. You see it in the MLB. You see such an influx of like, I mean, Puerto Rico is a territory, but you see Puerto Rican players and Cuban players and Venezuelans and Argentinians. Like you just see so many players coming from that area that are top tier talents. Like I want to get into this Venezuela roster. So starting off, the pitching, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know all these names. There's a couple I do know, like Ranger Suarez is on this team. Antonio Sensala, I know him. He's a Rocky. I don't see them being super deep here. What I see with this Venezuelan team is when we get into the fielders. Okay. Was there any pitchers you guys wanted to hit on here? Another one I just recognized, Keter Montero.
Yeah. Jose Buto, he was traded to San Francisco last year for Tyler Rogers, I believe.
Okay.
I think he was part of that deal. He was more of a swing man, started some games. Average pitcher. I think he throws in the threes somewhere. I'm not positive of his ERA. I'm really excited what he can do for San Francisco this year.
Another one, Eduardo Rodriguez. I know that name. They've got some pretty good pitchers. I'm not super, familiar with all of them just because, I mean, there's so many pitchers in the MLB, dude. It's so hard to keep up with everyone, but
I think it's going to definitely bring a lot more attention to them.
Right.
I mean, I feel like we're about to get into the meat of their team, and like the pitchers really don't stand out very well for Venezuela.
Exactly.
I feel like they're going to make it up at catching, infielding. I mean, that's where their bread and butters, their outfielders. I mean, they're just going to have a lot more talent there in hitting power than I feel like they have currently with pitching. But it's going to be fun because you're going to actually be able to see these guys pitch that you would normally not pay attention to and go, okay, well, why is this team jiving? What's going on? You're actually be able to watch these guys and understand, okay, this guy's a really good pitcher.
Right.
And then you start digging into, okay, who does he play for? Does he play for anybody?
Yep. Well, and that's something I do like about these tournaments is you see these guys play, they stand out to you in these tournaments, and then you start recognizing their names when you do hear them in the MLB. I think a spot of strength for this Venezuelan team is the catching.
Oh, yeah.
William Contreras and Salvador Perez. I mean, you're talking two top tier catchers in the MLB.
Yep.
That's their squad. It's like, man, they are deep there. As a very deep team.
They got some seriously good catchers. Not afraid to throw you out at second base. I mean, they're gonna be able to snipe all over the yard there. I know Salvi really hasn't been a very prominent catcher here recently. He's been more of a first baseman for the Royals.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see. But I know he still specializes in catching, so he still got the arm for it. And they both are really good hitters, especially as catchers.
Yes.
And don't sleep on their ability to game call. I mean, that's
exactly
a huge part of it. And the catcher plays a huge role in supporting these pitchers and calling a proper game. And having that experience behind the plate is extremely important. A lot of people don't really think about it as much, but a catcher is, a leader on the team. They call a lot of the plays and call every pitch. And so I'm excited to see what they can do there.
And to me, that's where those two really stand out. I mean, Salvador Perez is going to the Hall of Fame. We all know that. He's one of the best catchers we've seen in probably the last 30 years.
Yep.
He's one of the best game callers in the MLB. He has been for 15, 20, almost 20 years now. I mean, the guy's been around for a long time. So I think they're super deep there. Another place I think this team's deep all over the field. I mean, these infielders, you've got Luis Ariz, Wilson Contreras, who used to be a catcher,
used to be
moved to first base, Mikael Garcia, Andres Jimenez, Eugenio Suarez, Gleyber Torres, and Ezequiel Tovar is your infield. That is deep.
Deep infield.
That is deep. I mean,
and I mean Wilson, I'm interested to see because he just barely took on first base last year,
right?
So he was getting kind of the breakdowns of how to do it.
Well, he was one of the best defensive first basemen last year.
Yeah, it was his first year doing it. Like,
it was amazing.
He went from catcher to. There was times you could see that he had a little disconnect with it, but he really picked up the position very well.
Oh yeah, and he gives you good offense from that position as well. I mean, he's a good offensive player.
Yeah.
Then the outfielder, same thing, super deep here. I mean, you're talking Wilyer Abreu, Ronald Acuna Jr., who's finally healthy, and we're going to get to see him play in this. It's going to be awesome. Jackson Churio, young stud, plays for the Brewers. Like,
I'm
one of the best young talents,
do, especially with that hamstring that he was fighting all last year. I'm anxious to see him come back from that injury.
And then the other outfielder is Javier Sanoja. I'm not familiar with that name, but I'm excited to see. It looks like he's got a Marlins hat on, so I wonder if he's maybe a minor leaguer for them, or maybe he is on the roster and I just don't know the name.
I'm pretty sure he is on the roster. Yeah, I definitely have heard his name before. I'm not as familiar with him, but I'm pretty sure he's a starter for the Marlins.
And then I did want to touch on there's two coaches or managers on this team that really caught my eye. Miguel Cabrera is the hitting coach, and Johan Santana is the pitching coach. That's awesome.
Yeah,
those are two. I mean, those are guys I grew up watching.
Fan of Santana and his no hitter.
Right.
He's got the only single pitcher no hitter in Mets history. So.
That's crazy because the Mets have been around for a while.
Yeah.
All right, next we're going to get into Puerto Rico. This team, there's been a little bit of a kind of a controversy in the media about this team because there's been some weird deals with like insurance things and suspensions. And do you want to touch on that a little bit, Jeremy?
Yeah. So we were just kind of looking over the roster and who they're going to have, and we're talking about how deep this lineup could have been. Javier Baez obviously wasn't able to play because he had a suspension from the WBC for cannabis usage, which is funny because that doesn't have any effect on you playing in the MLB. But WBC, I guess, has higher standards when it comes to that. So that's kind of surprising he wasn't able to play. And a couple other players, obviously Francisco Lindor has the broken hand made now. But at the time, they weren't going to allow him to play due to insurance reasons. And then also Carlos Correa. Yeah,
Correa was another one. That was another one that was in the news. Remember the Bad Bunny offered to pay
his insurance
to cover him for it.
Cover him and get him to play for Puerto Rico.
Yeah, and I guess
still said no.
The WBC wouldn't approve it or something. So just some weird like storylines with this team, and I don't know. It's odd to me, but it's like, you know what? It is what it is. The team's still a pretty good team, but like you said, like imagine how much deeper this team would have been with those players on it. I mean, just crazy, weird stuff.
I did see an interview with Carlos Mendoza where they actually asked him point blank, if because there was a rumor saying that Bad Bunny was willing to pay for their insurance, but the teams wouldn't allow them to play.
Right.
And Carlos Mendoza squashed that right away. He said, absolutely not. It had nothing to do with it. I don't know why he couldn't play, but the Mets didn't prevent him from playing in the WBC.
Were they meaning like Puerto Rico? Team Puerto Rico?
Yeah. That the MLB team wouldn't allow them to play after Bad Bunny offered to cover their insurance. There was rumors saying that the teams were like, nope, they can't play. But like I said, Carlos Mendoza said no, that the Mets didn't do anything to prevent him.
Let him go.
Yeah. So,
well, I was going to say, I mean, they have Diaz who's pitching for him, so there's no way Mets would have a huge issue with these other players, Lindor not playing for him. I mean,
right.
Well, he's a Dodger now. So.
Diaz signed that big deal. Remember?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears because I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
All right, let's touch on some of these pitchers because they are pretty deep here. So they've got Jorge Lopez, Edwin Diaz, like you said, Jose De Leon, Raymond Burgos. Like they've got a pretty deep pitching squad. Again, though, I'm not like super impressed. No, I don't want to say impressed because obviously they're all good players. That's why they're here. But I'm not. I don't see this as like a super deep pitching squad. I just see it as a pretty solid squad. Yeah, you know, Seth Lugo's on this pitching
they're
squad.
Get some
like
good outs, they're going to get some good plays. But they're also going to get hit on as well.
Right.
It's not going to be like you're having Tarik Skubal or
exactly
pitching for these guys. It's going to be kind of something you can hit off of.
Yep.
But it's going to be also really good. I mean, I feel like most of these guys, the ERA is pretty down there. It's not going to be, you know, like a 2, like
right.
It's going to be
it'll be decent. High 3s, low 4s.
Jorge Lopez is pitching for Team Puerto Rico. Not too super familiar with him, but he was on the Mets for a little bit. And I remember he got mad after an outing and threw his glove into the crowd. And there was a big stink about it because he was saying, I play for the worst team. And then after that, the Mets came back to go on that magical run in 2024. So,
They just caught your eye.
The grimace run, huh?
Yeah. The grimace run, yeah.
This is another team though that they're pretty deep at catcher. Martin Maldonado is one of the best defensive catchers in the MLB. He's not great offensively by any means, but again, like we said, like calling a game, you know, he's able to block, you know, wild pitches. Like this guy is a very, very good defensive catcher.
Yeah, and he's got a cannon on him too.
Right. And then Christian Vazquez as well. I mean, he's a really good catcher in the MLB as well. So, moving on to the infielders, they've got Nolan Arenado, Edwin Arroyo, Daryl Hernandez, Emmanuel Rivera, and Luis Vasquez. Not as deep as Venezuela, obviously, but still a pretty solid infield core there. I mean,
Arenado he's a killer.
Yes.
When he gets at bat, he's a killer. He will put teams on the mat. He's done it before as a Cardinal. He's now a Diamondback. I mean, he's going to be a scary player.
I miss him as a Rocky.
Yeah, but imagine if you had Lindor and Correa in that infield.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like we said, imagine how deep this team would be if those guys were playing for him. Moving on to the outfield, you've got Willie Castro, Carlos Cortez, Matthew Lugo, MJ Melendez, Brian Torres, Eddie Rosario, and Helio Ramos. That's a pretty solid outfield. Ramos has been a really, really good player for the Giants for a couple of years now. Willie Castro has been a good utility kind of guy. He moves all over the outfield. Rosario, he's been around. He's a good player. MJ Melendez, he's been good in the MLB. Like this is a pretty solid outfield.
Very spotty. I mean, Melendez is all right, but he's
right. But I like this outfield. I think this is a team that I'm gonna kind of compare them to like Finland in the Olympic hockey tournament. This is a team that don't sleep on them.
Yeah, they're gonna be.
They've got dudes. They got dudes all over. Like. You know, and like we said, if those guys were playing, I would be way higher on this team. But they've got guys all over the field. I mean, this is a pretty solid team. Do you have anything to add on this one?
Oh, I was just going to touch on MJ Melendez. He played right field yesterday in spring training, and he ran down a couple of really nice balls in right field over there. You know, he is one of those feast or famine guys. He was a number 1 round draft pick. And you know, he just hasn't been able to bring it all together. But I do think that the potential's there, and I think this is a great opportunity for him to show out.
Yeah, I agree. Getting into this managers and coaching squad as well, we got Yadier Molina as the manager. Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah. I love Yadi, dude. Yadi's one of my favorite catchers ever.
Absolutely.
Juan Gonzalez is a hitting coach along with Edgar Martinez. That's pretty cool. And then Sandy Alomar Jr. is the first base coach. It's pretty deep in the coaching squad here. I mean, pretty interesting to see. So that I think this is a team that could go a long ways in this tournament. I don't see them winning the tournament by any means, but like I said, I wouldn't sleep on this team. I would not want to sleep on this team and get upset by them because it could happen.
They can upset you. I mean, can't fall asleep on them.
And that's the thing with the format, you know, with it being single elimination. Any team can win. Any team can win.
You got to sell out for one game. That's it.
Yep, it makes it interesting. All right, so next up, we're going to be doing Dominican Republic. Now, this team is absolutely loaded. I mean, top to bottom.
One of the heavy favorites.
Yes, this is as we sit right now, this is the number 3 favorite team to win it all. And I can't argue with that at all. I might even say they could be higher than that, but I don't know who you move out between the U.S. and Japan. I don't know, but this team is stacked. I mean, top to bottom. But let's start with this pitching squad. I mean, you've got Alberto Abreu, Sandy Alcantara, Elvis Alvarado, and Brian Bello. That right there, that's good.
Mhm.
You got Sir Anthony Dominguez. You've got Luis Severino, Wandy Peralta, Gregory Soto, Christopher Sanchez, Abner Uribe. Like, I mean, we're talking from
Uribe's a solid
starters.
closer right
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
I mean,
we're talking starters, long relievers, mid relievers, closers.
whatever situation you get in, they
Yeah.
can get themselves out of pitching. Like,
Crazy.
they have a solid roster for it.
Crazy pitching squad. I mean,
Pitching staff is disgusting. for
Who-
sure.
who to you stands out the most in this pitching squad? Like, who are you guys looking at here and saying like that's a game changer, that's a difference maker? Like,
Alcantara, all day.
yep, I agree with you.
I mean-
Sandy Alcantara is amazing.
Last year, he came back from Tommy John in the first half of the season. His ERA ballooned, which is to be expected. You're coming back from a major elbow
Right.
replacement surgery like that, and then really dialed it in the second half. I mean, when it came to the trade market, that was my number one go-to. I wanted Sandy,
Yep.
and he's still on the Marlins. They didn't deal him, but man, that guy can pitch.
Yeah, he's been with Miami his whole career, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think so.
At least MLB career. And it just blows my mind because that's a piece that I would have thought they would have moved by now to bring in a bunch of young talent. Like the guy is just an amazing pitcher. What about you, Trent? What's a guy here that stands out and just seems like a difference maker?
Well, I think the difference maker for me is going to be Uribe. I think he's really going to be put into some solid closing positions. He's proven that he can do it. He has no problem. I feel like he's going to really stand out for this team, where they're going to get into a situation where they're going to need a closer or somebody to have ice in their veins, and he's proven time and time again that he has that ice.
Why am I not surprised that you picked him? I'm just looking at you.
Yeah.
He went over to that team, so it hurts me deep down, but I still love the kid.
I know he is a great pitcher. To me, I agree with both you guys. Honestly, I do. Sandy and Abner are great. I'm gonna go different just because you guys picked them already, but I'm gonna say Sir Anthony Dominguez. I think same thing. He's a guy that could come in and just change a game for you. He can hold. He can close. He's kind of versatile. You can put him wherever you need him for this tournament, and he's just going to give you inning after inning of production. Like he's just a great pitcher. I was kind of surprised he signed with the White Sox this year.
Yeah, they
I'm
went out and
excited
spent
to see
money,
that.
yes.
Yeah,
Red Sox are
they
spending
did.
money. They're trying to do something this
Yeah.
year. It's nice to see.
Yeah. So let's jump down to the catchers real quick. Again, really deep at catcher. Augustin Ramirez from the Marlins. I think he's a really great young catcher in the league. I think he's up and coming. He had a really good year last year, and I'm excited to see him in this tournament.
Yep.
And then Austin Wells.
Yeah.
Austin Wells has been an awesome
Catcher
catcher for the Yankees.
Yeah.
And I think he brings a lot of depth to that team. Like I said, dude, this team is just loaded. I mean, we haven't even touched the talent on this team. Infielders. Okay, here we go. Buckle up and hold on because this
Yeah.
team is crazy. Junior Caminero, great young talent in the league. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I mean, one of the best players in the league.
Huge
Period.
contract last
Yep.
year. I mean, he proved it with the
Yep.
Blue Jays. Just
$40 million?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, just crazy. Manny Machado,
Wow.
Yep.
Ketel
A huge
Marte,
one.
Ketel Marte, like
Yeah.
Geraldo Perdomo, Jeremy Pena, another great young talent.
Mhm.
Ahmed Rosario, Carlos Santana. That's your infield.
Yeah.
That's what's solid in. I mean,
This is one of the best offensive infields probably in the tournament.
well, and they're
and
great
defense.
defense. I was gonna say they just have the great defense at
Yeah.
each spot. Like
And your
That is-
backups are great. Well,
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
Ahmed Rosario and Carlos Santana as being your bench pieces.
Right. Like this
Wow.
team is unreal. I mean, how do you even line this up? I mean, obviously Vladdy's playing first, right?
Yeah.
You got Manny at third,
Yeah.
definitely. That's who I would put at third.
Could tell it second.
Ketel at second. I think you're going Jeremy Pena at shortstop. He's one of
Yeah.
the best
Yep.
defensive shortstops in the MLB. And then where do you go from there? I mean, Carlos Santana at DH.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how the DH works in the World Baseball Classic. We'll have to look that
I'm
up,
not sure. I, had to look
but I know
at
there is DH. So
Backup first base or yeah.
right.
I mean,
But Junior Caminero is not even starting. Like
Yeah.
what? I mean that's crazy. That's crazy. All right, but now if you were impressed by that, let's get into the outfielders. O'Neal Cruz, Julio Rodríguez, Johan Rojas, Juan Soto, and Fernando Tatis Jr.
That's gonna be a solid line.
Wow.
I mean, in this lineup, I'm definitely DHing Juan Soto.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
You really
Exactly.
think he DH'd Juan Soto? I'm more like, I think more Cruz on this one, just because he's proven he can't handle the outfielding for you guys, and he's got really good hitting power. And Juan Soto can actually cover the outfielding.
That's fair, but Juan isn't great defensively. He's
Yeah,
not.
but he's better than.
But
Cruz.
he's good.
I
He's
don't know.
good.
I don't know if he's better than Cruz. And Cruz plays center field. You put him in a corner, I guarantee you his defense would be better.
So, I mean, I get your argument with the O'Neal Cruz, Juan Soto thing, but I mean, ultimately, let's get down to it. Who do you put where in this outfield? I mean, I guess for me, I have to put Julio Rodríguez in center over O'Neal Cruz, right?
I would think so.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So you've got your center fielder. Where are you putting Fernando Tatis?
I put him on left.
You put him left?
I put him.
I think I would have to put him in right field.
I
I
think so.
I do. Yeah, I think he's got a better arm. I mean,
I-
O'Neal Cruz has a great arm too, so that's tough. But
well, and that's what I was just kind of thinking. Like, do you put Juan at DH and then move O'Neal put Fernando in right and then put O'Neal in left? Like, I don't know. What do you do there?
well, the whole reason that Juan Soto shifted to left field in New York is because of the WBC. So he played right field for New York last year and for the Yankees in the year before. But this year he's playing left field for the New York Mets, and the reasoning is because he's going to be playing left field in the World Baseball Classic. So I think that's pretty much solidified. If he's not DHing, he's going to be playing left field.
Right. So then O'Neal Cruz over in right, which I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you do with this outfield. It's
just
so
too good.
loaded.
Yeah.
Where do you put
Yeah.
guys to really use their talents to the best advantage you have? I mean, I don't know. That's for our guy Albert Pujols to
Yeah,
figure
yes,
out.
yeah.
I'm glad I'm not the coach. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
the manager for this one, because
Yeah,
it's a
and
hard one to pick where you want your
Oh,
team,
man.
how you want to separate them. I mean, you're talking DH, and then you're not even looking at your infielders. I mean,
right.
like, this is just crazy. Like, they have talent everywhere, so it's going to be a matter of whoever you feel like can get you that win that night, whatever lemon you can squeeze to get the
Right,
juice, right?
Right.
So,
Well, and who's on that night? Who's off? I mean, Junior Caminero, if he's not starting, he's a guy you could throw at DH. He's a really good offensive player. He's
Yep.
great. Carlos Santana, Ahmed Rosario has played DH in the MLB. Like, I don't know, dude. This team is just loaded. Like, and this is all for our guy Albert Pujols as the manager to make these decisions. Like, Albert Pujols being the manager is so exciting to see. There was talks about him signing as a manager in the MLB, and I think this is his chance to kind of
prove,
showcase
Yeah.
what he can do as a
I
manager.
think he can do it. So I don't know why he has not already been
Right,
manager,
right.
like,
And then the bench coach Placido Polanco. You guys remember watching him play?
oh,
I
yeah.
miss that guy. He was awesome. This is a team, dude. This isn't even a team like that. I'm gonna say don't sleep on. This is a team that you better show
You better
up with
watch.
your A
You better
game.
watch. Yeah. Like, when you're sitting down and watching these games, watch Dominican Republic.
Yes.
It's going to be a fun, exciting series.
Yes.
You got great talent around you, and they're going to make a run.
You're gonna see bat flips. You're gonna see showboating. It's gonna be fun. I am
Yeah, they're going to bring in
high on this
swag.
team. Yep. All right, jumping to the next team now. This is the second favorite team to win the tournament right now. Going into the tournament, it's USA, it's Japan, and then it's Dominican Republic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
I drew blood. Sorry. So Japan. Full disclosure, we don't understand a lot of these guys. We don't follow Japanese baseball like we probably should. But that's what's awesome about this tournament is you get to see some of these guys. First of all, some of these guys just signed with MLB teams.
Mhm.
We're going to get kind of a sneak peek of what these guys really are. Some of these guys probably played in the last World Baseball Classic. And they kind of didn't realize who it was until now they're signing with the MLB teams. So now you're going to see these guys, hear these names. You're going to be like, oh, I remember him. I remember watching him last year in the tournament. You know,
Well, and the exciting thing is you could watch this and go, oh, we could sign this guy.
Exactly.
Probably gonna lose him to the Dodgers, but we can sign him.
Well, this might be the 2029 Dodgers lineup right here. Who knows?
Yeah.
Let's jump into the pitching. So I apologize in advance. I'm going to butcher some of these names. I'm sorry, but I'm going to give it my best shot. First of all, some of the names that stick out that I have seen because of MLB experiences, Yusei Kikuchi. We've got Yoshinobu Yamamoto. He's the Dodger. He had a phenomenal year. Great player. He's probably
the World Series,
yeah. I would guess he's going to be their ace, right? Like that's got to be their ace guy, right?
So you can tell by the number because in Japanese culture, the best pitcher is 18.
Okay.
That's why you see a lot of these people who come over like Imanaga, Yamamoto, Ohtani, like all these guys like to wear 18 because that is the best pitcher. That is Japanese baseball lore. That's who they all watched as a kid. I can't think of the guy's name, but yeah, you can do research on it. He's like why they all wear number 18.
Okay.
It's in honor of one of the best Japanese baseball pitchers.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys, I don't know who they are, but this is the number 2 favorite going into the tournament. This is a very deep team, and my best advice is watch these games if you get a chance because you're gonna see MLB talent all over this roster. These guys are coming up. They're signing with the MLB every year. We get what?
There's a reason why these guys keep coming up in
Right.
droves. It's like 3 or 4 at a time where you
Exactly.
can see them. I mean, we just had 2 this offseason?
3.
3. So Blue Jays, I know got one.
The Astros.
White Sox got one in the Astros. I mean, like you're looking at teams that are gonna re-solidify their rosters, and then you getting a chance to actually watch because I mean, you look at the Dodgers; they're not really signing these guys until they've proven themselves. Like,
right.
Ohtani, he was an angel. He proved himself out over there. They did sign Yamamoto, but Yamamoto's had a killer arm. I mean, you're watching these guys. Seiya Suzuki, he's a Cub. I mean, you're watching these guys break the barrier of Japanese baseball to American baseball.
Yep.
And it's going to be fun to watch because it's going to allow us to actually enshrine ourselves in, okay, man, these guys really got some talent. Now I'm interested to see. And I would imagine maybe it's going to actually get that little spark where you're going to start paying attention to Japanese baseball as well. So you're like, okay, who's coming up? Because it kind of feels like a minor league, right? Where you're going to pay attention to it, but not 100% of your attention. As you're paying attention to the MLB, you're going to pay attention to this, so you know who's going to be making a name for themselves, who's making some waves, and okay, expect this guy to get signed in the next few years.
Right. One name that I did see left off with which we just discussed that the Dodgers decided not to let Roki Sasaki pitch in this tournament because of him being a young talent. They want to preserve his arm. I think it's a smart move by the Dodgers.
Well, they also did that with Ohtani, right? They didn't allow him.
Right.
They're not allowing him to pitch. They don't want their top arms to be hurt or injured. They want, all right, if you can hit, fine, you can hit for him, but we're not going to allow you to actually pitch the ball and screw up your arm and our chances of winning games.
Right. And that's something that, it's a smart move by these teams because pitchers' arms, they go out. I mean, it just happens. And they've got these guys on big contracts. They want to preserve these guys. Roki Sasaki has a bright future in the MLB. And so, yes, it's disappointing to not see him in this tournament. I'd love to see him play, but I get it. I understand their thought on it, and I don't disagree with it. Another guy I didn't see. Now, let me look one more time and just make sure. But
yeah, he's on there.
Is he on there?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry. I was wrong. So the player that signed with the Blue Jays, Kazuma Okamoto, and the guy that signed with the White Sox, that Munetaki Murakami, they both are on the roster. And now I'm assuming that's because they're infielders and not pitchers.
Yep.
So they're not as concerned with their arms, wearing their arms out.
Well, and then it's also going to get them more hitting, right? So it's one of those, put them in a high pressure situation. You get a decent chance at playoff kind of baseball and see how they perform under the lights. Where the light's the hottest.
Kazuma Okamoto actually just hit a home run against Clay Holmes yesterday in spring training.
Okay.
Pretty awesome to see. Deep center field shot off the batter's eye.
So he's already showing sparks of what he's going to be. Yeah.
He was my number one pick from the players coming from Japan this year.
Okay.
I wanted him. He's super versatile. Plays first base, third base, left field. Has won multiple Gold Gloves in Japan. I'm not sure what the award's called there. But he's going to be amazing, and he hits over 300. I mean, he's got a great average. So I think he's the whole package.
Yeah, and that's exciting to see. I mean, I'm really excited to watch this team because another guy I want to see play is Munetaki Murakami. I'm excited to get a sneak peek of what these guys are. I mean, Okamoto and Murakami are two like highly touted. They're talking about these guys kind of like they were about Shohei when he first came over.
Yep.
Like these guys could be MVP caliber players in the MLB. And so I'm really excited to see this team. Again, like I said, I don't know all these names. I'm not going to try to pronounce all of them, but Seiya Suzuki is in the outfield. Masataka Yoshida, I know that name and I can't place why. Is he in the MLB? Do you guys know? Okay, I thought so. I thought so. But this is a deep team. Again, like I said, full disclosure, I don't know all these players, but I just know Japanese baseball is top tier baseball in the world. They won it last time, a couple of years ago. Again, I'm assuming a lot of these guys are probably carryovers from that team. So it's going to be really exciting to watch. But I'm really going to be watching, the guys I'm going to be watching are Munetaki Murakami and Kazuma Okamoto. I'm just ready to see what they can do in the MLB. And this is going to give us a chance to see that. And then the other guy, obviously we've got to talk about. Shohei Ohtani is on the roster. He is listed as a DH. It was discussed correct me if I'm wrong, maybe something changed, but from what I've read, the Dodgers are not allowing him to pitch in this tournament.
That is what I believe to be the case. I think they're treating it exactly like Roki, so it's going to be one of those. Our top pitchers are going to be utilized as hitting, and that's it. Like if they can't hit, too bad, so sad. You're not going to get them. So
right.
And I mean, honestly, I feel like it's a benefit to have Ohtani as a DH. I mean, we've had this conversation off podcast before, but I think he's a better DH than he is a pitcher. I mean, he steals more bases. He's more versatile in the field of play than he is when he's pitching because he doesn't take those kind of chances that you'd see him take as a DH.
I agree with you that he's a better DH. The problem is when he pitches, he's a Cy Young caliber pitcher.
That's fine.
So it's hard to like. How do you not utilize that talent if you have it? But at the same time, I agree. I think he's better used as a DH because that's where he's more productive. But like I said, you're losing a Cy Young caliber pitcher if you don't pitch him. So it's like, how do you balance that? You know. Any final thoughts on this team, guys? Anything you guys wanted to say here?
No, I'm just excited to see him play, and like you said, more name recognition. With Murakami and Okamoto and some of these other players, if they didn't play in the WBC a couple of years ago, we probably wouldn't have been excited about him signing with MLB teams.
Right.
So moving forward, it's just excited to see these guys come over and play.
Yeah, and it's fun to kind of see who's that next round of Japanese players coming over. This is where we find out. This is where us as Americans, we get to watch these guys and be like, wow, that guy really stood out. Like in a team that has this much talent, and he's the one that's standing out. And I don't even know who he is. Like, and then you see him the next year or two signing with, the Angels or the White Sox. Like, oh, I remember that guy. I will say one thing I'm disappointed about with this Japanese team. Why is Ichiro Suzuki not on the coaching squad?
Yeah, he should definitely.
Why is he not a hitting coach? Come on, guys.
Yeah,
get your stuff together, Japan.
Well, yeah. I mean, Ichiro. There's a reason why he is a Hall of Famer. I mean,
oh right.
Why is he not hitting coach? I mean, doing something for this team. I mean,
yeah,
he's crazy.
He's one of the best hitters the MLB has ever seen. I mean, I loved watching Ichiro. He's one of my all-time favorite baseball players. And obviously I'm joking, whatever, but I was just kind of surprised to not see him on the managing or coaching squad. I kind of thought when I scrolled down there, I thought I was going to see it.
Conflict. He's like,
yeah.
Make it.
All right, and last but not least, we saved the best for last. Obviously, we're all American here. Let's get into Team USA. This is a very, very, very deep team. They are the favorite going into the tournament. They are the favorite to win it, which honestly, I was kind of surprised. I thought Japan would be the favorite going in just because they won the last one. And like we just talked about, that team is stacked. I mean, it's a really good team, but maybe it is part of what we just said.
Some of that pitching talent, though, because they're not going to allow some of their pitchers to pitch, is going to be interesting to see.
Well, and Shohei pitched in the last one, so maybe that did kind of change their odds.
Maker for it. I mean,
yes,
clearly we saw that.
So Team USA, they're the favorite to win it. Let's start with the pitching squad. This is a deep pitching squad. We've got David Bednar, Matthew Boyd, Garrett Clevinger, Clay Holmes, Nolan McLean. Yeah. Nolan McLean made the team. That's awesome. Clayton Kershaw. I'm assuming this is his kind of last hurrah.
send off.
Yep. Brad Keller, Griffin Jacks, Mason Miller, Joe Ryan, Paul Skenes, Tarik Skubal, which Tarik Skubal announced he's only going to pitch one game in the tournament. So I'm curious.
The finals.
I'm curious to see where he gets pitched because, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying we're not going to, but what if we don't make the final? What if they do try to hold him for it and we don't make it? Is he not going to pitch at all then, or what? Or is it going to be an early game and then he's out? Or
yeah,
it's kind of a weird situation.
Also, Joe Ryan, I don't think he's going to be pitching either. I know I saw something yesterday or the day before that he's having some issues and is going on the IL. So
yeah,
I'm curious to see who they're going to replace him with.
Yeah, I am too, because this is a very, very deep pitching squad. I think I already said, but Mason Miller, Joe Ryan, Paul Skenes, Tarik Skubal, and then Garrett Whitlock, Logan Webb, Michael Yak. Is it Waka or Yaka? I think it's Waka.
Waka.
And then Gabe Spire. This is a really, really deep pitching squad. I mean, you've got 5 top tier starters here. You've got long relievers, mid relievers. You got Mason Miller closing. I mean, this is you got setup guys. I mean, this is top to bottom, just probably the best pitching squad in the tournament.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to see Clayton Kershaw. I thought what a great way to kind of honor him and allow him to go out with a bang. Going to be really exciting to see him out there as well.
Yeah, he's always been one of my favorites. Jumping down to the catchers, very deep here, very deep. Cal Riley, who should have been the MVP. You ditto. And Will Smith, very, very deep at catching. This is arguably the best catching tandem in the tournament. I mean, I know we've talked about a couple other ones that are super deep too, but Cal Riley and Will Smith.
The only one who comes close to me is Venezuela. For catchers is going to be 1A, 1B, and I feel like we have that slight edge. I mean, Cal Raleigh hits nukes 24/7, and he switch hitter, so very versatile, and he snaps that ball wherever he needs to. I mean, he makes solid plays around the yard.
What I see here is you're talking about Contreras and Perez, Salvador Perez and Contreras, and then Cal Riley and Will Smith. I think defensively, you're probably pretty even there. Game calling, defensive, throwing out stealer. Like I see it pretty even there. But what I see is offensively, this USA team is better offensively.
Yep. I mean, there's a reason why we just said Cal Raleigh should be the MVP or should be. Right. But Yankee bias got in the way.
Yeah. That's a topic for another episode as well. Infielders, again, just really deep here. I mean, Alex Bregman, Ernie Clement, Paul Goldschmidt, Bryce Harper, Bobby Witt Jr., Bryce Turang, and Gunnar Henderson. Absolutely loaded. First of all, my first and foremost question here is Bobby Witt Jr. and Gunnar Henderson. What do you do there at shortstop?
Bobby Witt.
It's got to be Bobby Witt.
I think you put Henderson as second base.
I mean, you could
play right next to each other.
Yeah.
And you have Harper as your first baseman.
Yeah. Or you could move. Well, I don't even know how you do that. I was going to say you could move Gunnar over to third, but you've got Bregman. I mean, Turang. Like, what do you.
I mean, yeah, it's hard for me to pick Gunner's spot because Turang is a solid second baseman for us.
Right.
So, I mean, but the talent on the field, you want it on the field for a reason. And those guys are hitters as well as they can dish it around the plate.
Right. And then, I mean, first base, you have an argument there, but I think it's a pretty understood argument. Bryce Harper is your starter.
Yeah.
But Paul Goldschmidt, I mean,
unless he's DHing, I guess. But,
right. Yeah. I mean, this is a super deep infield. I mean, just crazy. Ernie Clement, he's kind of a utility guy on this team. He can move wherever.
Yep. Wherever you guys need him. Just
Turang needs a night off, put him at second. Whoever's playing third, I'm assuming Bregman, if he needs a night off, put Ernie Clement in. Like, it's just super deep, super deep. And then let's jump into this outfield. Roman Anthony.
Yeah.
a very young, talented player. He had a breakout season this last year. He's going to do awesome. I think this is an opportunity for him to really shine and show like, hey, I'm here. I'm here to stay. Get used to saying my name because you're going to say it a lot. Yeah, you know.
Yep.
And then Byron Buxton, Pete Crow Armstrong, and Aaron Judge.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you do?
Yikes. Yeah, what do you do? Okay, that's a good question.
I put Crow Armstrong as my center, I think.
Over Buxton?
I think so.
Yeah? Okay.
Crow Armstrong has been playing that spot pretty solidly.
I agree with you. I'm just
I mean,
devil's advocate here. I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's hard to say. I would probably put Buxton and Anthony in there over having Judge there. I mean, it feels like Judge is just going to be a DH, but you already have a DH, so it's kind of
you have Schwarber. Kyle Schwarber is the DH on this team. So how do you finagle that? Because you can't take Aaron Judge's offense out of the game.
No,
his defense.
But I feel like he's more of a liability on defense. I mean, he does make
compared to these
plays,
other three,
the other three. So it's one of those. How do you pick them each night? Right?
Yeah. Well, we all know that Buxton's made of glass, and the Twins have
unfortunately
suffered 2 injuries to their pitching staff.
So maybe they can hurt him too, and they can put the Twin season out of misery.
And Andy would be so mad at you
every day.
He
want
knows
him
it's
out
true.
there. Yeah, I know. We were missing him. He's not here, but Buxton. I mean, he's amazing defensively and obviously offensively, but you can't play him every day.
No, you can't.
He's gotta sit some. So rotate him through.
Well, if that's the case, then I'd put Buxton as left, I think, and then I'd have to swap him out with Judge on the left, right?
Well, and I think what you're going to see a lot here is you're going to see a lot of substitutions.
Yeah.
You're going to see Buxton play the first 4 or 5, maybe 6 innings, and then you're going to see Roman Anthony come in or Judge if he didn't start that night. You're going to see him come in and play left. But, hey, we need a home run here. We need a big bat. Hey,
offense.
Let's take Buxton out, or let's take Anthony out if he started that night. Let's get Judge in there. Let's have a little boost to the offense here.
Although I do think it would probably go the other way around, where you have Judge come in and then you have Buxton come in as a defensive replacement late in game or PCA or somebody. You want to get that, those runs on the board first, then pull them out so you have the better defender out there to.
Yeah, then we can just save the lead.
Yeah.
And then, like we said, you got the DH is Kyle Schwarber, who, I mean, that's a scary DH, man. We're going to be seeing bombs all over the place.
Raleigh and Judge.
You're right.
Wow, man.
And then the pitching squad, or the managing and coaching squad here, we got Mark DeRosa as the manager. Michael Young is a bench coach. I loved watching Michael Young when I was a kid, dude, on Texas Rangers. Shortstop, that guy was awesome. Freddie Gonzalez. Brian McCann as an assistant coach. All right. Sean Casey at hitting coach. Matt Holliday at hitting coach. My all-time favorite baseball player ever. I love Matt Holliday. Andy Pettit. Andy Pettit as a pitching coach. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
George Lombard at first base coach. Dino Ebel at third base coach. And then David Ross as the bullpen coach. Man, even the coaching squad is deep here. This is crazy.
Yeah, Team USA is looking good.
Yeah.
I think if I had to put money on it and it came down to it, you got worse odds, but I would definitely go Team Dominican Republic. I think you get a good return on that too.
I think if you're putting money on this tournament, I agree with you. Dominican Republic's where you got to put your money, right? Like they're going to have the lower odds, which is going to be the bigger payout. Yeah. But I just don't see anyone beating. I don't see this USA team not winning it. Yeah. I understand why they're the favorite. Last time Japan did beat us, but I don't know, man. This team seems really
Japan's
deep.
Not going to have that pitching that they had last time. So I mean, that's what plays into this and then on top of it, you have so much hitters for the United States. It's not going to be funny. I mean, your pitching staff is going to be
Skenes and Skubal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to see double-digit runs in these games. I mean, Paul Skenes, Tarik, Skubal. That's your top 2.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Very, very low ERAs. We're going to be holding people down.
But then again, Skubal's only playing 1 game.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let's talk about that then. If Skubal's only playing 1 game, you still have Paul Skenes. Nolan McLean is a good pitcher. He's a really good pitcher. Yeah. He's the kid that hits too, right?
So he used to. He came up and he was nicknamed the Cowboy Ohtani.
Okay.
He was a 2-way player. I want to say in AA they focused
Okay,
on,
that's what I thought.
and he flew through the ranks. And
Okay.
was called up at the end of last year.
Okay.
And they say he's got the highest spin rate of any MLB pitcher.
Dang.
Yeah, you got to
that's
watch some of his
impressive.
pitching ninja videos. They're absolutely insane.
Yeah, this team, man, I don't know.
I did see an interview with Clay Holmes saying that he's going to be a long man. So they're they're probably gonna do this a lot. They're gonna have a starter start a game. Throw 3 or 4 innings, and then they're gonna pull in another starter to piggyback and throw maybe 3 or 4 innings depending.
Okay.
So I think that's the plan with all these great pitchers. So if you think about that, you could have Paul Skenes come in, throw 4 innings, and have Tarik Skubal come in and throw 4 innings.
That's scary. That's scary. That's 8 innings of shutout baseball right there. That's what that is. This team, and plus USA's riding a high right now. I mean, let's get real. We just won the gold medal in the Olympics for hockey. These
for
guys,
men and women.
Yeah, for men and women. These guys were watching that. They're like, all right, we got to keep this going. Team USA everywhere. Like it's gonna be such a fun tournament, guys. Any final thoughts on the tournament as a whole you guys want to throw in here?
I was just gonna say that's why we didn't even bring up Team Canada in the in this podcast. We just put them to the side.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be awesome. It's great for baseball. You get the viewership up. You get to see some of these up and comers from other countries that you've never heard of. I know we keep saying that Japan's pitching isn't deep, but we don't know that.
Exactly,
We're
we
not
don't.
that familiar with them, and they're known for their splitties over there. And I'm just really excited to see some names we've never seen before, and see what comes of this.
Yeah, and that is a big thing. Like we said, full disclosure, I don't know most of those Japanese players, but one thing I do know is I'm not going to underestimate them.
Yeah,
Well,
I've seen
especially when
Japan.
you know that they're going to be playing lights out because they have a chance of getting an MLB contract.
Exactly.
So it's going to be even that much more of the juice out of their arms. It's going to be that much more splitters, that much more sinkers that you're going to see. They're just going to give you a lot more, especially if they go ahead and play us.
Right. Well, and these guys, obviously MLB scouts are watching these guys every day. They know these names. We don't. We're not. I'm not paid to scout. There's only 24 hours in a day. But those guys, they know these names. And these kids playing for Japan, they know that as well. They know, hey, this is my chance to shine, not just in front of MLB scouts, but in front of the entire world.
Well,
this is my chance.
You're going to get the chance to pitch against, like we said, you can have 3 superstar hitters that you can strike out in one sitting. Like, boom, I got all 3 of them. And what it's going to do is, all right, this guy's just proved it. We've been watching him for a while. He's proved it. We're going to sign him now.
And he's immediately on all 30 teams' radars.
Yep.
At that point, like, who is this guy? You get the scouts on the phone. Have you guys seen him? Yep, we've seen him. Okay, why have you not told us about him yet?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, and that's just it too, because it's not even going to be scouts now. It's going to be ownership, GMs that are watching this game.
Yeah, managers, everyone.
What the heck? Why haven't I seen this guy's film across my desk right now? I need to see more of this kid.
No, it's going to be an awesome tournament. Like I said, guys, make sure you're tuned in for this because this is one of the best baseball events. I wish it was a yearly event. I wish they'd at least go every 2 years. But
by yearly, I think it'll be fine.
This is an awesome event. Again, it's March 5th through March 17th. Make sure you're tuned in. Check it out. Look for some of these names we talked about. Well, watch this episode a couple times. Get familiar with these names. These are big time players all across the world that you're going to want to see. And eventually, a lot of these guys, most of them are going to end up in the MLB at some point. So, if you guys are liking the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Like the video. It helps us out a lot. Leave us comments. Tell us who you guys think is going to win this tournament. I'm expecting a lot of Team USA in those comments, but let's hear it. Let's hear it. Maybe Dominican Republic, maybe Japan, maybe an outlier like in Italy,
we have
or
some hosers up there.
Yeah, maybe a Canadian, let's see what people are thinking. So
let's see who comes out with the best uniforms this year.
Yeah. Well, we know who's not winning that one. But again, thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to the channel and we'll see you on the next one.